Hey everybody, Shadow Ninja here and welcome back to Rage Quit. Today we are going to be discussing some reinforcement changes or tweaks EA and DICE could do to Star Wars Battlefront 2 to make it more authentic to the films. The whole reason why EA has not put any cosmetics or skins into the game yet is because they didn't want to interfere with the Star Wars canon, yet some character models they chose do just that. In this video, I'm going to be giving some of my changes I would personally undergo for some classes cosmetic-wise to make it more canon-friendly. First, we will start off with the Specialist class for the Republic on Kashyyyk. Don't get me wrong, the Clone Trooper Specialist looks awesome with the green stripes, but what really bothers me is the Specialist looks like a trooper that belongs on Felucia, rather than Kashyyyk. So instead of the standard Specialist, I would rather EA and DICE put in the Camo Scout Trooper from Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. In that movie, you saw the Camo Scouts run rampant throughout the battlefield. Come to think of it, the only clone who wasn't a Camo Scout was none other than Commander Gree, the leader of that battalion alongside Yoda. If DICE wanted, they could go the extra step to make it so that all the clone troopers other than the officer will be a Camo Scout, but the green stripes for the base clones and heavy troopers look cool though. A little side note, if they put Utapau into the game, they should make the Specialist, those Predator looking clones from Battlefront 2 2005, and a red striped Phase 1 clone for Geonosis if they plan on making that map as well. The clone officer on Naboo should also be switched out with the Theed Guard from the Phantom Menace. These guards were in charge of protecting the city from any danger, and in the original Battlefront, you fought these guards instead of clones in the droid campaign. I'm pretty sure these guards didn't just disappear at the first sight of a separatist invasion, so they should be the officers instead of the clones. Another side note, if they are planning on making Geonosis a playable map instead of the standard officer, they should put in the Phase 1 clone trooper with an orange stripe. Speaking of the officer class, some factions' officer character really annoys me in how they look. Personally, the only ones I like are the Droid and Empire officers, but the clones, First Order, and especially the Resistance and Rebellion officers rub me the wrong way. It could just be that everyone looks the same, and there isn't really any variation, but nonetheless, it's still meh to me. I would like it better if the officer class as well as all classes for the Rebellion and Resistance would be interchangeable in race and gender. Why can't we also be male First Order officers? I mean, Hask was an officer himself, but you were forced to play as a female in the First Order faction. Don't get me wrong, playing as a female from time to time is fine, I have nothing against that, but when you can't change your gender and you're locked behind a certain gender, it kind of breaks immersion. For example, the First Order Heavy Trooper and Imperial Rocket Trooper are both female. What if you wanted to be the opposite gender? And what if you wanted to be a female Assault Trooper, but can't? The Specialist on the Rebellion side is okay with me because in the original Battlefronts, the Rebel Sniper was always female. But enough about that, let's go on to another skin for troopers that breaks canon, the First Order Trooper on Crait. As you saw in The Last Jedi film, as Kylo Ren marched his way into the Rebel base on Crait, he had a band of First Order snowtroopers with him, just like on Starkiller Base. In the visual guide to Star Wars The Last Jedi, it was said that Crait was just as cold as Hoth, and the salt on the planet had something to do with that. So why are the standard First Order classes playable, but not the ones that were in the movie? It's such a minor and most likely unimportant detail, but it is more authentic. Stormtrooper pauldrons for the Heavy class on Tatooine should also be randomized in color, or set by rank. In A New Hope, not all the Sandtroopers on Mos Eisley had orange pauldrons. The colors varied from black to white to orange to show rank. This could be implemented into the game based on the player rank. For example, levels 15 and under can have black pauldrons, levels 25 to say 45 can have white ones, and levels 50 and higher can have orange ones. I don't know, like I said, small details, but it still makes a difference. It also gives the player something to look forward to while leveling up. I mean, Battlefront 2015 did it, so why not now? Speaking of the Imperials, you know what would be a great substitute for the Rocket Trooper? An Imperial Dark Trooper from the original game. Oh yes, these guys already have a built-in jetpack and their blaster can have a shotgun/shock blaster that can be configured manually between the two. Now we will take a look at some of the reinforcements. On basically all the maps when you're playing on the light side, such as the Clone Army, the Rebellion, and the Resistance, the Enforcer reinforcement is always the Wookiee no matter the map. I think that they should change this based on the map you are playing. Obviously you can keep the Wookiee on Kashyyyk, Yavin, Hoth, you get the gist. But the maps that had planet-specific alien species in the movies should be in place of the Enforcer. For example, the Gungan should be the Enforcer on Naboo. I was also going to say that on Endor you could play as the Ewoks, but I'm not very sure how that would work. Perhaps having a bunch of tiny creatures hiding in the bushes and killing you with bows and arrows is a bit overpowered and unfair. I would also go as far to say that Jawas could be on Tatooine, but again the same imbalances apply. Plus these creatures are already seen on map, but you understand where I'm coming from. Certain alien races could take the Wookiee's place and be unique. The Separatist reinforcements need some tweaking as well. Don't get me wrong, super battle droids are badass, but is it really necessary to have two of the same droid with just minor cosmetic differences and switched up abilities? In place of the Rocket Trooper, the Droid Commander should take its place. The droid can have a modified version of the standard assault blaster for that faction with maybe increased fire rate or something. They could keep their rocket launchers and jump back abilities as well. I just think seeing those droids in battle is a lot better in variation rather than seeing two of the same super battle droid. Next, we should talk about a new reinforcement class EA and DICE can implement into the game. Having an Enforcer in Rocket Trooper is cool since it calls back to the original games, but there are some important characters still missing. Perhaps a more up-close and personal class, like the Sentinel. It's already been in the works for a while, and it was dug up by data miners. We will possibly get a clone ARC Trooper and a Rebel X-Wing pilot who can call down an orbital strike, basically, of X-Wing Hailfire. The First Order faction can have none other than the Executioner Trooper, or maybe a Praetorian Guard. I'm not sure if the Praetorian Guards would fit though, considering they were only used to protect Snoke, but nonetheless it would be pretty cool. And the Imperial faction could have a Royal Guard with the Force Pike this time. No blaster. I mean, it works, considering Palpatine can be a playable character. These guards would be fast and would have a lot of health. They would kind of be like a weaker version of Maul, but they wouldn't do massive amounts of damage. Or maybe they can put in a Shadow Trooper with a hard-hitting blaster like the T-21. These characters would be able to turn invisible, but it would work kind of like how Darth Maul's Shemitah ship works. You see the outline of the character, and if they move too quickly, they get fuzzy, revealing their location. And last but certainly not least, the droids should definitely get their destroyer droid, also known as the Droideka. These droids can roll across the battlefield with intense speed, but that would be their weakness. They wouldn't be able to fight back until they transform into their true form. A bubble shield would pop up around them, and the droids themselves would have fast-shooting blasters on each side that would have unlimited ammo with a short cooldown. The bubble shield can also break and be recharged just like the heavy frontal shield, and only standard grenades can roll underneath the shield and kill the droideka from inside. There are so many possibilities regarding reinforcements, and I hope DICE and EA take advantage of the unlimited amount of characters they can implement into the game. I hope you guys liked the video, and if you have a reinforcement suggestion or a class cosmetic tweak based on a particular map, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. Every suggestion is important, and they can work towards making the game better this way. Subscribe if you're new to the channel for more content, and I will see you guys on the next one.